For perfect competition, just to review, if there is an economic profit, which is an above average or normal profit, so the economic profit is greater than zero, that means total revenue is greater than total cost. And if we divide each of those by Q, that would be the same as saying that price is bigger than your average total cost. So if there's a normal profit, which is called also an average profit, then total revenue equals total cost, or price equals average total cost. If there is an economic loss, then of course your total revenue is less than your total cost, and therefore your price is less than your average total cost. So let's suppose the firm does have an economic loss. The question is, should they shut down in the short run? So if there's an economic loss, by definition, we know that price is less than average total cost. Well, in the short run, there are both fixed cost and variable cost. So if you shut down, then there are no variable cost, such as wages, but your fixed costs you still have to pay, such as the rent on the building. So the decision as to whether to stay open or close is whether or not you can cover your average variable cost. So if your price is bigger than your AVC, even when you have an economic loss, you should stay open in the short run. And the reason for this is, suppose your selling price for one good is 20 and your average variable cost is 15. Well, you're $5 ahead if you close. Of course, you're still losing money. So let's say if you lost $30 if you closed, because those are the fixed costs you have to pay. Well, if you stay open and if you take in $5 additional, your loss would be smaller. You've only lost $25 if you stay open. So of course, losing 25 is better than losing 30, so you would stay open. So when do you close? If the price is less than your average variable cost, then you close. Because once again, this is average variable cost. And this is, of course, now, if your price is $20 and if you incur $25 additional expenses, you're going to be $5 worse than you were. If your price is equal to your average variable cost in the short run, then you're indifferent to stay open or close. You could produce 0 goods, or you could produce up through the quantity where your MR equals MC, which is the point where you maximize your profit, or in this case where you minimize your loss. So the question is, how does this impact the short run supply curve? Well, for the firm, we know we have the marginal cost curve, and then we have the average total cost curve, and below that we have the average variable cost curve. So the question is, where do we have an economic profit? Well, a profit is when price is bigger than average total cost. Now this is total cost, this is economic profit. So therefore, anytime we're above this point where there's a normal profit, well, those points on here in the marginal cost curve would be a positive economic profit. We certainly would produce there. We want to produce when P equals ATC, because that's a normal profit. But what happens if we have an economic loss? So an economic loss is when P is less than ATC. So if there's an economic loss, well, this gets to the shutdown rule. If there's an economic loss, we're going to stay open anytime price is bigger than AVC. Therefore, we're looking at all these parts of the MC curve as well. If P equals AVC, we're indifferent. Well, if we're indifferent, we can produce from 0 or any quantity up through where MR equals MC. Hence this part, horizontal line, that is the point of indifference. We have an economic loss because we're below ATC, but we're also below AVC. We're indifferent. And when do we shut down? Well, we shut down if we have an economic loss and if our price is below our average variable cost. Well, if we shut down, we produce 0. So if we produce 0 for all these prices here, then that would be the portion that would graphically make sense. So if the question is asked, where is for the supply curve, where is the supply curve? Well, for the firm, well, the supply curve for the firm is going to be at any point above the shutdown point. So on the marginal cost curve, it's going to be any point with the AVC, with an economic loss. It's actually just going to be this part. The book sometimes will demonstrate the horizontal and vertical components, but I'm going to erase that here. So where is the supply curve for the firm? This is the marginal cost curve. It's the marginal cost curve that is above the minimum AVC, so the point that is shaded.